Hi guys, so I'm going to be doing the scariest thing tag, and I do have quite a bit of experiences. All of these are like paranormal kind of, so let's get on to it. I'm using my Kindle as you can see. Anyway, question number 1, scariest real life experience. Back in my old house, we used to hear voices, and we were like, okay, maybe it's just the neighbors or whatever. But even when they weren't home, and it was just us that were home, we would hear them. And then when I used to like go to sleep, and for some reason something like called my name, and I was like, what? And we saw like black shadows, and my grandma was like, well, black shadows are like bad spirits. I was like, oh god. And then she says the white ones are like nice ones, and they also can be like loved ones or whatever. So that was kind of scary. I mean, seeing like literally black shadows just walking, and it would be like a human figure, and it freaked me out and my grandma out so bad. Number 2, scariest paranormal experience. And I pretty much went into that, but it's not really scary okay, so I will just say number 2, but it's not going to be scary. It was kind of scary, but okay. When my grandma passed away, and I was at her funeral, well, I should say her wake. Okay, we'll start with her wake. So I was at her wake, and I was, of course, full of tears and everything. And the candle next to me started flickering, and I was like, I remember my grandma telling me that if you have a candle on and it like flickers like crazy, it means like a presence or whatever is in your home or near you. And so when that happened, I was like, I was scared, but I was at ease. I was like, okay, this is what my grandma told me. Maybe it's her. And then like I smelled her perfume everywhere. It was like aroma all around me, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Did they spray perfume on my grandma or something? And it was an open casket, of course. And then when I was crying and I was wiping my tears, I smelled her lotion, her favorite lotion that she always wore 24/7 on my hands. And I was like, what? And when I was like crying, then I was like looking at my hands, I felt something like touch my hands. And that made me cry even more. And I was like, maybe she like touched me or something. And then at her funeral, like it was very cold outside, but behind my back, because I was just wearing a sweater at the time, behind my back, I felt something like someone like went like this to me. And I remember all through my years, even when I was like 16, 15, 17, when I used to go to sleep, like she'd always come into my room and like kind of do this to my back, like just like this, and that's what it felt like. And it was just odd. I was like, maybe I'm just cold, but no, I felt her, like I felt actually like someone doing this to me. It was scary. Well, not really scary, but it was just like, my god. And like 2 weeks had passed, and when my grandma, I believe it was my grandma, because I was going to the bathroom and I was getting ready to take a bath, and so the shower curtain was all the way, closed, and I smelled her again, and I was like, okay, well, the same smell that I smelled at her wake, and so I, was doing my thing, and then I was gonna go in and take my bath. But when I looked up, like I didn't hear it, when I looked up, the shower curtain moved to the other side. I was like, what? And maybe a month after that, things went missing. Like, I would leave my phone on the table, and then right before I had to go to work, I was like, okay, let me grab my phone. My phone wasn't even there. It ended up in my purse, and I was the only one home. And I know that I put my cell phone right on the table, but somehow ended up in my purse. I was like, what? Again? I was like so afraid. And then, maybe a week after that, it was just me and some other girl working, and I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, and so I normally get out, like, I normally would have gotten out like around 9, but I had to stay an extra hour early because she had to leave early. So she was like taking out the trash for me or whatever. So she went outside and was doing the trash, and literally I heard my name, Angel. And I was like, yes. And I said the person's name, and no one was around me. And then the door, we always had this back door open so you can go do the trash and then come right back in instead of going all the way around. So that was opened, and then I seen this woman, and she was wearing a white gown. And my grandma, she wore a white gown at her wake, and it was just staring at me. And I was like, what? And at this time, like, there was like no face. It was just a long white gown. And I looked, and I just looked outside, and then I looked back, and it was gone. And even in my new house right now, sometimes things will go missing, and then where we looked, like, it would be there, and it wasn't there before. Like, things have gone missing. And from time to time, I will smell roses. They were my grandma's favorite flower, were roses. So from time to time, I will smell that. But I haven't smelled her perfume or her lotion in quite a while. But even sometimes, like during the nighttime, I'll hear someone walking across the floor. And if I'm downstairs, I'll hear it. And then I'll think, okay, my husband's up, right? But I go upstairs, he's not, and literally I would hear footsteps. Like, sometimes at nighttime too, I'll hear footsteps coming down the stairs. And in my living room, I have 2 pictures of my grandma that are up. And right next to it, I have this little decoration thing. And on New Year's, it started like moving like really hard, like back and forth. And it was just odd that right where I have this decoration hanging down from our knickknacks and my grandma's pictures are like exactly like right next to it, and it would move back and forth. It was going on and on crazy. So that is not really a scary thing, but I mean, it kind of still like kind of freaks me out. But I try to like calm myself down and be like, okay, well, you know, it's just my grandma. And even when I go visit her grave, like, it's not an uneasy feeling. I mean, you're sad, of course, when you're going to visit a loved one and you can't actually talk to them in person, like I am talking to you guys. But I would get cold chills, and I would feel like someone's like touching me every time that I go. So I never really stayed too long, only because I don't know if that exactly is her. Because when we went to go bury her, that's when I felt the scratches on my back, kind of like when she did when I was sleeping. It was just like one of I don't know why she did that, but it's just like a really sad memory. So that would be a long question number 2. Sorry about that. Number 3, have you ever known anyone convicted of a violent crime? No, I don't know anybody that has. I pretty much keep to myself. I have a very, very small group of friends. So, and even if I did know somebody, I didn't actually like know them, but I don't know. I don't really keep up on all the news like that. Number 4, are you afraid of the dark? Why or why not? When I was little, I was afraid of the dark. I used to sleep in my closet when I was a little girl, and we had like an older house, and it didn't have a light on top, but I only had a light in the closet, so I used to lock myself in the closet and like have the light on. For some reason, I was just scared of sleeping in my bed and there was like no light. Even like a nightlight wouldn't do it. But now, a little bit, especially when you hear like voices or whatever, I do get kind of afraid, but if I'm not alone, I'm not afraid. So it depends if I'm alone or not. Number 5, does your hometown have any scary story or legends? Not my hometown, but we have maybe like a half hour from here, we have this town that is like haunted, and you can't go inside, even though I did once, but that's a different story. And basically the whole town like killed each other, and there's just a big story on it. My sister did I think she was going to, or she did like a little, what is it called, a project or whatever for her school about it, but it's definitely scary. Like when I went there, alright, it wasn't nighttime or anything, but literally you didn't hear no birds, there was like no wind, and it was warm, and it was wintertime, and I was just wearing like like a pullover hoodie, and it was like warm. There's like no wind, the trees weren't moving, nothing. There's no like sounds of animals or birds, so it was kind of creepy. I'm glad that I didn't get caught though. Thumbs up for being a rebel. Number 6, what is your favorite urban legend? Well, I don't know if you would consider it an urban legend, but Bloody Mary definitely has to be my favorite one. Even though it was based on a true story, but the whole looking in the mirror thing, it's not, but it's kind of fun to even like just try. I'm into the whole paranormal thing and the whole like ghost stuff, and like very interested in old history like that and what happened to her and why. It's very scary and it's very sad. I couldn't imagine ever going through that, and she has to be my favorite one. And also, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Green Lady Cemetery, but I've still been wanting to go and see that. And I've also been wanting to go to Salem in Massachusetts so bad, but I haven't been able to go yet. So hopefully maybe sometime before I die I can go, because I would love to just get my palm read. I'm really into that. I don't know how to do it myself. Even when I looked, I mean, I really don't know how to properly do that, so I would like to go and do that. Number 7, what is your scariest nightmare? Oh, there's been a bunch of nightmares, but there's this one nightmare that I had when I moved away. I had a dream that I was drowning, and I was like in a really ritzy bathtub, and I don't know why I would have that dream, but I did. And when I was drowning, there was like blood everywhere, and I was like, what? When I got up, and it kind of like, I didn't go back to bed until like 5 hours after that, because I was kind of scared to go back to sleep. But those are my experiences. But if you guys like this video, let me know, give me a thumbs up, and if you like, it'd be very appreciative for you to subscribe if you want to. And I will leave the scariest thing tag down in the description box down below, so you guys can go ahead and do that if you would like. And I hope you all have a good day. And sorry that this video was kind of long, but they're just things I just wanted to share with you. So, but anyway, have a good day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.